Yeah, that's machine on show. That's not press. The press are good. It's not snow, but she's not dropping glue everywhere. Good morning, Lynette. I'm putting a I'm putting a note because I see your name, but I already messed up the note. I put like Lynette bag replacement instead of bag placement. At Harvard and Hyde, they have like if you get your tags from them, which I feel like 75% of us have our tags from there, they have black bag placement like I was going to say markers, rulers, and I keep saying that I'm going to get them. I have two different sizes. I have one for That's So Nova and that one for Nova's Knits. And I was like, I keep saying I'm going to get them, and then I forget. But in my notes, I literally put Lynette bag replacement. Okay. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. It is, I don't know what the weather is. I don't have my Samsung tablet with me. But I think it was like chilly. The rest of the week looks like it's gonna be warmer than it is today. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? Yesterday was really cold. Today's gonna be cold but windy. I think we have a high of 35 and we have like so much wind today. Um, which I already can kind of tell. Yesterday I could tell because I was having trouble doing lives, and I think Verizon sent out a notice saying because of the winds there might be disruptions, and they sent out another one today because of that. And I have like Fios, and Fios is like super fast. I can usually have a bazillion devices on and no really big issues, but yeah, yesterday I was having issues. I was actually having issues like just getting on the internet, and I today's supposed to be even windier. So here we are. Good morning, Roxy. Good morning, Mural. Um, so yeah, today there's a lot of little things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be doing a like a slight modification. We finished the pod from Spencer Ogg, but there is a modification I want to do. I didn't want to do the binding because the way she does the corners, like if Spencer's watching this, it's chef's kiss. Like when I say the points are pointing, it is a perfect like rectangle. I don't want to ruin that by putting elastic on it, and I feel like putting binding on unless it's like one fold binding will kind of ruin it. So I have this idea for a modification that I'm going to be sharing with the rotary cutters this morning. I'm going to cut it out and then go live and show them my modification. And then on Sunday, I'll show you the finished bag. But I think the modification actually is going to satisfy what I want, because seeing the raw edges, even though they're not framed or anything, is driving me nuts. It's just part of like my fixation. That's all I can see. Even though the bag is glorious and beautiful, it's like navy blues with mustard yellow. It is like so rich and so inviting, but all I can see is the inside raw edges. And grant you, no one's going to look at that. If somebody was to give you the bag, you're going to be like, oh my God, the outside of this is gorgeous. Look at how symmetrical and everything it is, but all I can see is the raw edges. So I'm gonna try to fix that today. I think I have it. I was drawing it out in my head all day yesterday, so I think I have the perfect resolution for that. 19 degrees, woo, in Alabama. Okay, that is so not nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and just put you on a timeout. There you go. So, um, good morning, Nikki. So, yeah, so I'm going to be doing that earlier. There's two testers I have, and I'm going to do one of them later on this evening. I was waiting. desperately for this piece to come in so I can do it. It's not coming in. So there is a modification within the pattern to create this piece, and I am very reluctant and kind of nervous. So I'm going to give it a go because if it works out, I would love to actually do a video on this one because I think it would help. -1 degree. Whoop whoop. Hey Julie. I would love to do a video on this one because I think showing how to do this modification is pretty cool because of how we are today in the world. That it's going to be kind of harder to get like interfacing certain frames and things like that because they're either in like across the pond in China or they're not in the Northern America. So like I think having this alternate way of instead of using hardware but using like stabilizers in interfacing and unconventional materials is quite brilliant. I'm a little nervous, so I want to take my time. The bag itself looks like it'll be put together relatively fast. It's just this one thing I am super nervous on. So before I can even do a video, I want to feel confident so that way you feel confident doing it. Um, so that's what I plan on doing today also. My son is staying at home. The wind is like bothering his ear and he has a really bad ear infection. He's on day 3 of antibiotics, but I have to even though he's going to be 13 next month. Oh my god, I'm not okay with this. I just want you to know that. Even though he's going to be 13 next month, he is when he's sick, he's notorious where I have to go up the stairs like I need you to drink some water. I need you to eat something. Like I have to do it like every hour of the hour because he won't do it and like he's taking Tylenol like extra strength and I'm like you can't have it on an empty stomach and you have to drink fluids and he's not like playing games or anything. How I know my son is sick is he'll just like lay in the bed and do absolutely nothing. There's no TV, there's no nothing going on. And that's how he's feeling right now. He has an earmuff on one ear and it's hurting. So I gave him like a warm compress to put on his ear and I think he's drifting back off to sleep and I gave him a decongestant to help with any like fluid buildup and whatnot. The doctor said it's just going to be painful and they said it's for people that have ear infections or during this time when it's extremely cold it's extra painful and with the wind we all know if you have an ear infection and that wind hits your ear you're just like oh Jesus like so, and it just made me think like, do you remember when they're babies and they have an ear infection? There's no way you can really comfort them other than giving them hugs and kisses. There's no way they understand that everything's going to be all right. And it just made me remember all the times that they had ear infections and you were up all night with them. It's just, like that's like the one time you're like, I will just swap souls. I will be sick for them. Just let me take the sickness, let not have my babies. And I would swap places with him right now because he's so miserable. And it was I can't get over the fact that the doctor let me see inside both ears. I'm not a doctor. I never did anything in medical, but I have never seen something so red and so veiny before. Like I was like, so they gave him drops and antibiotics. So yeah. He went to school yesterday, but like around 1 o'clock, he called. I was teaching, and so he called my husband, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm not feeling great." And my husband was like, "Your mom's teaching, so you just finish out the day. It's only 2 more hours left, and then come home." And he came home. He did homework, and he just laid on the couch. He's like super miserable, and like he has like the pillow underneath the ear, so no like air or anything touches it. So I have my little Bambino home with me today, and I'm gonna be taking care of him, trying to make him feel better. And then I have like a lot of little things that are happening. Um, my daughter's ADHD medicine kind of got adjusted, and yesterday she had a panic attack at school. I'm telling you, yesterday and the day before yesterday, I don't know how I was functioning. There was so much stuff going on that I don't even remember falling asleep between meetings, teaching, talking about different patterns with other people, like just so much stuff happened that going to the mail, fighting with DHL, getting DHL, like going like I don't know when if you guys buy in bulk with your hardware, I go through each piece because I have had sometimes where like the person forgot to do something and It's just it's just a lot. So, yeah, so it was just a lot yesterday. So, I'm just trying to decompress this Friday. So that's basically what I'm gonna do. Tomorrow, I'm trying to finish up 1 or 2 bags, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do for Sunday yet. So I wanna cook, like, a really big meal for everybody so there'll be leftovers for 2 days. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I seen there's a couple of cool things. I seen that Sally Tomato has, like, a new pattern. It is a crossbody, but it could be worn as a bag. Now, this is not a new kind of pattern per se, thank you, Shannon. Oh my god, no, she actually freaked out. She was in the counselor office. I had to rush down there. She didn't eat anything. So, if anyone that is on ADHD medicine could tell you, you take it in the morning. You can't take it anytime in the afternoon because it stays in your system for 8 hours. And, it makes if you truly, truly have ADHD where your mind just drifts off all the time, it makes you hyper focus. And, like, Imma tell you how it is. The first time she took it, she's like, "Is this what normal people feel like?" That that's coming out of a child's mouth, because that was the first time. You have to take it with food. And I guess yesterday my husband woke up late, and my husband usually is really good about shoving a bagel and some fruit down her throat. Hope won't take eat food in the morning because she's a teenager. They do teenage things. I mean, we've been teenagers. We know we're little butt heads at that age, and they're teenagers. They know it all. They've done it all. They've been here longer on the earth than we have. We know the drill. Um, so she went in, and I guess she went through first period, and I guess the medicine hit second period, and she had a panic attack. She told a friend, and that was good that she told a friend, and her friend took her to the counselor's office. Her friend stayed with her. The counselor made her eat granolas and chips and drink water. Then she was able to level out. But it's a new dose because she said the old dose wasn't, she didn't feel focused anymore, that she still felt like she was drifting off. And because my husband woke up late, we woke up late at general in the house, we were not paying attention that she was starting a little bit higher of a dose, and I just felt, like, so, so bad, and we told her that she did the right thing, so I'm on high alert right now. If she needs me, I'm running to that school with whatever she needs, if she needs to come home, whatever. Um, so, yeah, there's that. So, um, ADHD meds are very, very interesting because if you truly, truly have ADHD or ADD, it, like it changes your whole perspective. Like, you go from, like, "Ooh, banana, orange, look at the firecrackers," like, to being, like, focused on whatever you're supposed to be doing in front of you, and it's a kind of like an outer body experience because you know you're being focused and you're trying to figure out why you've never been this focused before. Um, so, yeah, there's that, and it has worked. Her grades have went up tremendously. She went from getting all C's from the first 2 semesters to being almost an all straight A student again. She's always been a straight A student. She's all straight A's again, except 1 class she has a B. She's excelling at ASL. She's always got A's in ASL, but it is working, but, like, the problem is when you're new to medicine, you have especially ADHD medicine, they have to find the right dose, and with that comes trial and error and fails, and yeah. So yesterday was a little bit trying, and then I knew as soon as I started teaching, you know how when you are about to do something major, that's when you know something's gonna happen? Like, watch DHL, who normally comes at 6 o'clock at night, come when I'm doing a teaching. They did, and they didn't even ask me to sign. They heard Loki barked, and they dropped everything in the front door, so I'm dragging everything in, trying to hold a dog back, and I didn't even have to sign for anything, and normally I have to sign for stuff, so yeah. So, just one of those days. Yeah, medical yes, that's exactly it. To find that sweet spot that works for you, I hate, hate, hate that. And that's where she is right now. And she's like, she's a little bit miserable with it, but she understands that she has to find that happy place. I know. Yeah, Hope is on night and day medicine. She hates the night medicine because she again, with her ADHD, it's hard for her to fall asleep. She's kinda like me. I never knew why I couldn't fall asleep. It's because my mind doesn't stop. I was literally thinking about modifications up until 12 o'clock at night, and then finally I just passed out. And I forgot to take my nighttime medicine. That and forgetting your medicine is actually a very common thing with ADHD or ADD. Um, so I have to usually put alarms on my phone, and I have Hope putting alarms on her phone. Um, so sometimes if you do have this medication, you usually have like a day and night so that you can allow your mind to shut down and your body to rest because a full night's sleep is truly beneficial for you to focus and get through the next day. But yeah, my mind will drift if I don't take any medicine. I'll be up like nonstop. Yeah. Yep. So hey, so there we got this. And then and I think it's important for us to talk about this, not only for our kids to talk about it, but as parents, because sometimes like w- like I have to say my parents' generation, they were a little bit more reserved and they thought it was something wrong with your kid to talk about it. So they pretend that this was like not a normal diagnosis and this was a fake thing. So a lot of kids, especially around my age, they went to school and they had this and they were diagnosed with this, but there was no the parents didn't want to medicate or whatever. So it was very hard. Like one of my close friends, she was diagnosed with like dyslexia, like severe dyslexia, and her parents were like, "It's fine, she'll work it out." And she would have been an A student, but she wound up being a C student because it took her like so long to figure out what would take us like 10 minutes. It would take her like 2 hours to try to like decipher and fix out. So I do love that our generation, because of like our parents' generation, has figured out that this is a thing and this is not something that's going away, and we want to help our children. I know each generation kind of advances to the next. I'm curious what the next generation has to offer. That's why I told you guys that I'm really excited in the summit that they have children teaching. Like, I feel like that is so important so that way we can hone in their crafts and tell them this is an art and to keep pushing forward because sewing has sewing numbers have been like dwindling since the early 1900s, and after World War II they dwindled more. It was something that women did and men tailors did, just kind of like if you go back in history there was more tailors, more male tailors, and they kind of dwindled through the years, and there was more women seamstresses and whatever, and they again dwindled through the years. It's important that we try to keep our art alive because if we don't, it'll get lost. It'll get lost, and it'll just be factory working, putting together with someone's fashion design, and there's no passion or no, like, other people behind it. There's no small factions, it's gonna be just big conglomerates. There's always gonna be like Levi, this, and it's no like, "Hey, this is Shinova," "Hey, this is Arnetta, this is Christine," "This is Nikki," like, there won't be a hollow back creation or not a Threadco if we don't keep continuing to help our nurture our kids and say, "Hey, push forward with your art." So, I think it's cool. Yes, you're very true on that. Like, you're absolutely right. When I was diagnosed, they said it was mostly for males, and they did ignore it in girls. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely 100%. So it's something that we do need to talk about because it's nothing wrong with you. Like, actually, most artistic people, like, when they go back into, like, looking at, like Shakespeare, Kit Marlowe, or just people in general that had some kind of art or passion, they can kind of diagnose them based off of, like, notes on who they are, that they either had, like, they were on the spectrum or they had ADHD or whatever. So it's very common for people that have some kind of artistic passion to have some kind of something else special, like, it's our superpower in a weird way, like, where other people could see it as a negative thing, I think it is a positive thing that my mind keeps going because that I don't know, the day that I think I stop thinking and then the day that I stop not wanting to be creative might be the only day that I die. I'm always gonna push forward, that's just who I am. I've never been a person that just was able to stop thinking. I'm creative and I like that about me, and I like the fact that I always think outside the box, and I've always been like that. Like, I can't recall a time that I was like, "I don't think like that." So, it's just interesting. You have an appointment to get it? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's good too. The tests are very interesting. I did get frustrated. I got tested when I was younger, and then I got tested when I was an adult at 10 years ago, and then I got retested, like, up to 2 years ago just to rule out everything. So I got l it was really cool, like, it was nice to have a diagnosis for something that I knew I had. It was nice for like, I went in without trying to tell them what I think I have because, as soon as you tell a psychiatrist or psychologist that they're, like, rolling their eyes like, "Oh god, another online doctor." So, I went in, I told them everything how I felt, and then, like, the doctor thought it was the doctor thought it was interesting because when I was doing the writing with the test, I was going back with writing with my left or my right hand, and he's like, "I'm curious, that's when he also busted out like the dyslexia test, and yes, I have like some form, a very light form, not it's like heavy, but I have a form of dyslexia, and yes, sometimes when I read things it's definitely backwards, but I just never really, I just thought it was part of my ADHD, and I just thought I'm ambidextrous and this is just part of who I am. And if you ever really watch me write, I write backwards. Like, I'll have the notepad fully going away from me and I'll write with my left hand, and you're just like, what? Or I'll have it going fully on the right hand, and I'm writing with my right hand, and it's just, I never thought anything of it, and he caught it when I was, like, filling out paperwork, and I guess if I never filled out paperwork, I probably would never had that diagnosis. So, and I have anxiety. I have learned to I have learned to kind of control a little bit about my anxiety through therapy, and, I gotta say, like, when I co before COVID, I used to do a lot of Pilates and a lot of yoga, and with that, there's a lot of breathing and, like, internal, like, you're just, like, one with your thoughts. I learned a lot of, like, control through breathing. I know that sounds really weird, but I did. And I never actually felt stronger than when I did Pilates and hot yoga. Um, I mentally and physically, not like I looked like a baddie. I'm talking about like I felt strong. Like I felt like I walked stronger. I just felt more confident inside and out. And then just like the way they talk to you when your eyes are closed and whatever, like I felt grounded, and it helped a lot. And it helped a lot to be in a room where other people are like, I have anxiety too. I'm not really good at talking to people in big circles. I have like there was a mom that was a first time mom that her kid is 7, and she's always homeschooled. She has anxiety from being away from her kid more than 45 minutes, and, like, her family makes fun of her for that in the class, and we were, like, all talking about it, and, like, whenever we would do deep exercises and we were on the floor or whatever, she would cry, and it's just, it was a really cool class, and like, it made you feel like you weren't alone and that we all have these feelings and no one really talks about it because we feel like we're embarrassed or the society's gonna judge us for it. Society's gonna judge us whether we have it or not, so I'd rather speak out and say, "I have something," and then if you have it, it's okay, you're not alone. If you wanna talk to me about it, vent with me about it, laugh with me about it, or just get frustrated, I'm here, man. I'm here. Yeah, being mindfulness is very important. Self-coaching too, yeah. And I'm talking more and more. I actually, with me talking more and more about like me going to psychiatrists and me being in therapy, you'd be surprised how many people either DM me, go on my Instagram or whatever, and they ask me questions. And I'm like, yeah. And explained to them that Maryland has a couple cool things. If you can't afford therapy and like a psychiatrist, which is very, unfortunately, mental health doesn't have the same thing with physical health yet, and sometimes you have to pay extraordinary amounts to premiums, and our insurance is just not like Canada or any other part of the world. Um, but Maryland has thing called Green Grassroots, and it is a service that offers, like, if you feel like you're on the edge, if you feel like sad and you need someone to talk to, you can either text to a therapist back and forth. You don't have to physically talk to them. And or you can be on the phone with them, or they'll set up an appointment to meet them in the office or meet them at a coffee shop or whatever, and it's absolutely free. This is the one thing I give Maryland. But I always encourage people to see what they have in their own state, because sometimes once a week or once every 2 weeks is not enough to see therapy, because they some medical insurances only allow you to have like 20 visits, and you're just like, how am I supposed to spread that out in a year? Um, so see what else, ask your therapist if there is any services within your state or your county. Sometimes they do have free services where you can talk or message to someone else, and they don't have a case file, but it's nice to have like a sounding board off a person that doesn't know you, and that can just give you like logical information based off of what you told them. So do that. And then also have a circle of friends, like-minded friends, friends that say that they have anxiety, friends that say that they get stressed out easily, or they have some kind of mental diagnosis, because then you could be like, dude, I'm having one of these days and I feel like I'm gonna like I don't know if I'm gonna make it, or I don't want I like, you're just struggling. Having that person that's like, "I know what this feels like, tell me what's going on," can help. Sometimes just speaking to someone that has something similar going to you can mean the world. So, don't be afraid to speak out, because that's when things go wrong with mental health, is when people don't have someone to speak to. So, there's always a way. If you're feeling like you're spiraling and you have no one to talk to, I'm here. Just message me. I check my messages in the middle of the night too. So, just message me. I will get up. I will do whatever I can to help you. So just message me, and just like find that group of people. And the one thing I like about the sewing community is we do not like kind of shy away from mental health. We're like very polarized on it. And find somebody, find a buddy, because we all have those days where we're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So just find that person. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, our kids are going to, let's just put it like this. Our children's children in the history book are gonna be talking about COVID. Isn't that weird to anyone else, or just me? Yeah, that test, oh my god, that test. I remember the dementia test because I had to do I seen it with my Abuelita. That test is, I don't know if I can ever do that with one of my parents. After I did it with my grandmother, I can't do it. Yeah. Yep, and it could be struggling, yes, Sherry, struggling happens, and getting her, if she has a weekend, schedule an appointment, they can do tests and they could do it, but the medical roulette part is a part of it. So the first time she gets medication, it might work, the second time it might not, and just be there for her, and encourage her to talk to a medical counsel at the college if you do decide to do meds, and have a therapist. It's easier actually in college, because in college, they have so many things at the actual physical college. They usually have doctors, therapists, psychologists, everything there. It's actually easier to get diagnosed in college than any other part of your life, because everything's there on campus. So, if she's having a problem right now, this is actually a part where you could be like, "Dude, we can solve this and get things done," because colleges have everything there. They have their own police staff, everything. Think about it. It's like their own little community. So she can get help there. So definitely. And I think, and just, just talk to people. We all, like I said, we all have those days. So yeah, that basically, again, the ADHD mind of Shinova, I go from patterns, and I didn't even get to finish. Yeah, Sally Tomato has a backpacks whatever tomato pattern that it turns into a crossbody. It's, and again, it's not a new pattern, but I like it. It looks really cute. I think she Coke worked with Missouri Star, and it's really cute. But if you're like, I seen a pattern like this, or I might have one in my file, you might have the Georgia Girl Stitch one has one like that. I think it's called the Amber, and the Freddie bag from Maggie 55. But if you don't have a pattern like that, you might want to check out Sally Tomato one, because it's actually really, really cute. I also seen that, again, if you are looking, I'm getting a lot of there. There's a shortage. I've been an advocate for Bouncy Firm for a very long time. At the beginning of COVID, I found it with Cereal Bag Maker, and there's two weights. There's like 210 and 160, and I like it. I've always liked it because it's like to me, it's like a fusible fleece was in a solid form. It would be that you can like ball up vinyl, toss it, and undo it, and it bounces back in place. I have used it in in instead of Decavo Light. I do have Decavo Light. I generally only use it when I'm testing. But when I'm not testing, I use Bounty Firm, heavy or light. I It's something to think about. Now I do see Country Cow is carrying it. So if that was like, so I know Cereal Bag Maker has it and Country Cow, but if you, depending, like I said, for me, both of these shops are like a one-stop shop. Like now you can get, Mora, you can now get thread, you can get zipper pulls and whatever. One thing I like about Country Cow is that they have a different like zipper colors. They have like copper, antique brush. Like they don't have like, silver, black, gunmetal. They're all like a different unique color. And I know that could be overwhelming to try to start over with a new color. Totally get it. But if you want something that looks unique, there are that. And the only reason why I'm mentioning that, if you bought like hardware from like Olivia or Thumbs and Thimble and you got like the antique silver and you were trying to locate like hardware that looks like that, that's where I went to Country Cow. And Indo Love Creation has some too. That's the only place I think in America other than Fireweed Stitch, but they don't have like all the components, if that makes sense. Like they don't have like the sliders and all that stuff. So that's what makes me mosey over to Country Cow every now and again. And they ship really fast. Like if you order today, then most likely we'll ship it off today. And they offer you like the Royal Mail or DHL. So I'm not sponsored. I'm just telling you my bad habits. So I have like these really cool antique silver antique ones that are the Hope symbol from Star Wars from Olivia, and I have like 5 of them, and I've been waiting to put them on a bag, but I did not want to put gunmetal or silver because it just they don't match. And if I can see it, I feel like other people will. So I was like, nah. And then the thing that Country Cow has that the no one else has is they have a starter kit for zippers where so they have like the antique brush zippers with the antique brush zipper pulls and like the zipper ends or the copper with the zipper ends. And I'm like, yes, man, you know me. Because if I'm going to do this, I want the zipper teeth to look like it the whole 9 yards. So, yeah. I like new colorways. I almost got the Tula Pink one, but every time I go look for the zipper tape, it's always sold out. So that's the only reason why it prevents me to get the Sally Tomato one. And or they have a colorway that I know I have nothing that color. so, so I like new things. No, this brush silver is kind of more of a matte finish. I don't have one on me right now. It's like a matte. It's so like normally the silver that Olivia has is not super shiny, but this one is if if you were to take a silver and a gunmetal, the antique brush is right here in the middle. Like it could look like it could be either or, but when you place either piece of hardware, it looks nothing like it. So I have like 5 of these things, and then I got antique brush. I don't know why I always get that, and I know I have no hardware. I got antique brush from Thumbs and Thimble like 2 years ago for Lords of the Ring, I think, and I haven't been able to use it. And it's driving me nuts because these little magnets, they do help sell bags. So I'm like, okay, I just need to buckle down and find someone who has the hardware. Well, Country Cow has it. And I'm like, dude, she understands. Joe knows. Joe knows. And same with Adam. I think Joe and Adam work side by side with this because all their hardware could be feminine or masculine. They're just very inclusive. Yes, the antique nickel, but like everyone doesn't well, at least I don't know a lot of people that carry it, and if they carry it, they don't have, like, the zipper tape, the pulls, the sliders, everything, so that's what brings me over to Adam and Joe's Country Cow because I got, like, the whole shebang, so I'm like, "Okay, cool." But every time I order from them, They'll ship my stuff out. The next day, they'll have an email with new stuff. And I'm like, I, I don't know why. That always happens to me. I'll put in an order for Indolove, right? And I'll get my tracking number. The next morning, I'll get an email, and then they're like, "Oh, look at this new cork," and I'm like, it's and I wait. Sometimes I wait because I'm like, I'm waiting for an email. It only happens after I hit enter and I get a tracking number. It's like you could bet money on it. Like you could bet $100 and double down, and you would just win. I don't know what it is about me, but that happens to me every single time. Even with Immoline, every time I put in an order, then as soon as it ships, the next day I get something like this is the new thing, and I'm like, ooh, this is cute. And I'm not gonna put in another order because I hate paying for shipping. I absolutely hate it. Yeah. Yes. Outside of 1 inch is hard too. Okay, so Joe has the 3/4 and the 1 inch. Um, Love, I think she has 3/4 of inch, 1 inch, and 1.5, but the sliders is the issue. I think Joe even has 1.5 inch. I generally look for the 1.5 inches of I'm making the rosy and or I'm making the backstock backpack. Oh my god, I make it all the time and I can't remember. The backstock backpack. Um yeah, the backstock backpack. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I get many of you like, "I bought this stuff because of you. I am so sorry." But my thing is that if you see it organically and then you're like, "Hey, Shanova, where did you get this?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I got it from here." And then they sell out, like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Yeah." Trailblazer. Oh my god, Pammy, you're a lifesaver. The Trailblazer has you have to it's two 1.5 inch. So Trailblazer has a lot of hardware. So like I go for that. And then there's another bag that has a 1.5 inch, but a lot I don't know. I don't usually get a lot of it, but then I was looking for antique silver because I wanted to make a rosy with the symbol, and then I was able to buy it there. But I try to find something that collectively has all the hardware, so I'm not buying some here and something there, and I'm paying an arm and a leg for shipping. Um, so I went to Country Cow. And the DHL, with DHL, it is a little bit more expensive, but it goes through customs faster, and then you get it in like 2 days. So if I think I'm gonna get it today, and tomorrow's sleep in Saturday. So what I'll do is I'll open it up on Sunday for you, so you can see all the glorious stuff that I didn't buy a whole bunch because the day after I bought it, that's when they have all these interfacings and a brand new fleece. I like getting okay, obviously, obviously, I like interfacing. If I would have known there was gonna be a fleece, I would have been like, "Yo, dude, I wanna buy a yard." Like, I like interfacing. If you followed me from Swoon from, like, 2020 and you got that video about Buckram and I was showing you different alternative interfacing, you know I like interfacing. So, I'm good on a on a on 2010 Bounty Firm. I have like 30 meters. By the way, I love buying it in Europe because the meters. But yeah, but she also has a new fusible fleece. And the thing about Joe and Adam is when they're testing out new interfacing, they offer a discount because they don't know if they're going to sell it at this point because they want to test it out fully. So you can kind of test it out with them by getting it, and I'm down for that. Like, I always wanna try a new interfacing because you never know what you can replace what with. And, yeah, that I was like, damn it, Bobby." Like, I was they said new interface, I almost threw my tablet. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, "What?" It's okay, though. It's next time, next time. So, yeah. Um, oh, wow. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Brittany. So that is all I have for you. I'm glad that we had a nice 40-minute talk and we talked about a lot of stuff. I need to hop off here and go over to um, Patreon. So I want to say, have a good Friday. I will see you on Sunday. I hope you have a nice warm weekend and that you're able to do whatever you want to do. And if you need to talk, I'm here. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.